listen to a story, a story, a story. Come listen to a story. It's story time. Come listen to a story, a story, a story. Come listen to a story. It's story time. Hey friends, welcome to another story time here with TT Brittany at Grow With Me Educational Center. And guess what? We are here in Detroit, Michigan. All right, today we're going to get started, get going. So, we've already learned about sequencing. Do you remember that word? Sequencing. We were talking about the order of events, the things that came next. And they went in order. Like when we read our story, The Very Hungry Caterpillar, we learned that the sequencing of a caterpillar is egg, caterpillar, butterfly. So if somebody said, what was the events? Like what happened? The caterpillar goes from an egg to a caterpillar to a butterfly. That's a sequence, right? So we learned about that. Today, we're going to learn something completely different. But you can use sequencing in our story, in our book. Today, we're not just going to read a story. This book that we're going to read today is something that we call informational text. Can you say that? Informational text. Let's say it again. Informational text. We're going to clap that. Informational text. And what that is it is going to teach you about a very specific topic. It's going to teach you about something. Whatever the book is about, if the book is about clouds, it's going to teach you only about clouds. Informational text is very good, and a lot of times it's used in like science or history. So today we're going to read a story, and I'm going to tell you, because this book is informational text, you're not going to see me when we're reading the story. I'm only going to show you the book. So we're going to do something a little different. But our story is called Frogs. And it is, Explore My World Frogs from National Geographic Kids. So I want you to come on inside of the classroom and let's get ready to learn about ribbit, hey, frogs. This is how you say frogs in sign language, frogs. You take your hand, you put it under your chin, and you flip your fingers out, frogs. So I can't wait. Let's get started. All right, friends, we're here with our National Geographic book on frogs. Let's see what we can learn about frogs, because informational text is going to teach us something. All right, let's get started. Look, a frog. Up in a tree, a tiny tree frog balances on a branch. Tree frogs tiptoe on twigs and leap onto leaves. Sticky toe tips help tree frogs climb and cling. Let's look at this tree frog again. So first thing we're learning is that there are different types of frogs. Down by a stream, a big bullfrog snuggles into squishy, mushy mud. Squelch. Did we see that? We zoomed in on it so you could see it even better. In a sandy desert, a spade-foot toad digs with shovel-like back feet, burrowing underground. Can you see that? Whoa! Sploosh! Out in a pond, a leggy leopard frog launches off a lily pad. It arches through the air and splashes into the water. Let's look at that picture. Home, sweet home. Frogs live almost everywhere on Earth except Antarctica. You can find them on mountaintops, in forests, creeks and rivers, ponds, lakes, fields, parks, gardens, and deserts. So let's look. This first frog right here is a Pac-Man frog from South America. This frog over here is a spade-foot toad from North America. And then we have the Australian green tree frog. And I'm going to try this word out here. A Fleischmann glass frog in Central America. There are more than 5,000 kinds of frogs, friends. Here are some from all over the world. So this one is the flaming poison dart frog from Central and South America. This one here is the Vietnamese mossy frog from Southeast Asia. And then that one right there all sprawled out is the Wallace flying frog from Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia has some real interesting frogs. Frogs come in many different colors and sizes. They can be tiny or they can be huge. Frogs can be bumpy or frogs can be smooth. Some frogs are even see-through. Look at this one. Most mother frogs lay eggs in or near water. Pop! When the eggs hatch, out pop tiny tadpoles. They live underwater and eat tiny plants. They look like fish, but they are wiggly, wriggly baby frogs, also known as polywogs. Let's look at them. I'm going to pull it up close so we can see it. Let's keep going. So we've learned that there are different kinds of frogs. Tadpoles start out with chubby, stubby bodies and long, flat tails. But as a tadpole grows, its body changes. It sprouts legs for swimming and hopping. You see the legs? Its tail gets smaller. You see, it starts and smaller. His eyes get bulgier and bulgier. So let's look here. His eyes are kind of close to his face. Now they're starting to poke out more. That's what bulgier means. They poke out. Its mouth gets wider and wider, Finally, the tadpole looks like a frog. Out of the water it crawls. Now, the young frog is ready to explore its new world and eat. Look at this mouth. Goom, goom. This frog loves to eat bugs. It shoots out its sticky tongue to snap up a passing insect, and it pulls its prey, and that's what it eats. That's what it hunts, his prey, into his mouth and swallows it whole. Now, the frog eats his food whole, but we have to chew our food, friends. Froggy feast. Frogs are not messy eaters. They will eat just about anything that moves as long as it fits in their mouth. So let's look at this. Here's a question. How far can you stick your tongue out? Let's all stick our tongues out really far, friends. 1, 2, 3. Were you able to reach your lip? Were you able to reach your chin? Bugs and caterpillars are fine foods for frogs. So we have caterpillars and little buggies. Do you think a worm tastes yummy or yucky? So I want my friends to give me a thumbs up if worms taste yummy, or a thumbs down, and I'm putting my thumb down, if they taste yucky. Frogs chow down on insects, spiders, worms, slugs, and snails. Some large frogs even dine on mice and even other frogs. How would you like lizards for lunch and spiders for supper? No, thank you. This mouse better watch out for the big frogs, the big hungry frogs. And this frog right here just nabbed a delicious dragonfly. Frogs eat all kinds of animals, and all kinds of animals eat frogs. Look at this big bird. He's trying to get that little frog. Birds and bats and snakes and rats and raccoons, fish, lizards, crocodiles, even bears gobble up frogs. Look at this alligator or a lizard. How do frogs survive? Some hide by blending into the background. Some have brilliant colors that warn hungry hunters, don't eat me. These brightly hued frogs have poison in their skin. So the big bright frogs, they're poisonous. Look at this frog. He looks like he's dancing. Jump frog. A frog on the ground can leap to safety. And in a tree, a gliding frog spreads its toes wide and jumps off a branch. And it glides. Happy landing. All in the family. Let's keep going. Don't let toads fool you. Despite their names, toads are a kind of frog. But that doesn't mean frogs and toads are exactly alike. Frogs live most of their lives around water. Toads can be found in drier places, even in deserts. Here are some ways that toads and frogs are different. So this is a frog. The frog has moist skin, no tail, long, strong legs for jumping and leaping. Let's try. Can we jump and leap like a frog? Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. They have 5 toes on their hind legs, 4 toes on their front legs, teeth in their upper jaw, and bulging eyes. Now, a toad has a poison gland behind each eye, no teeth. It has 4 toes on the front legs. It's dry and bumpy skin, no tail. It has short legs, just right for walking or for short hops. And it has 5 toes on its hind legs. Sing like a frog. Even when you can't see frogs, you can often hear them singing. Some frogs puff up their throats like balloons to make a sound. Each type of frog has its own special call. Some are so loud they can be heard a mile away. Here are some frog calls. Can you make these sounds? All right, so the bullfrog says jug o rum. Can we do that? Jug o rum, jug o rum, jug o rum. Now, the spring pepper frog says peep, 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 peep. Let's keep going. The red-eyed tree frog says chalk, chalk, chalk. The gray tree frog says trill. The wood frog says quack, quack, quack. What else says quack, quack? A duck. And then this frog right here says coo-wee, coo-wee. And that is all about frogs. Thanks for listening to our first informational text. There'll be more. See you soon. Peace.